Welcome to Whispers Between Pages, the podcast where stories come alive, one book at a time. If you love books that linger, you're in the right place. All right, let's unpack this. Today, we're diving deep into a really fascinating case study. It's not your typical business school example. This feels much more raw, more human.
Absolutely. We've got this rich narrative detailing the dramatic fall and then the pretty incredible comeback of Wren Sinclair,
Yeah.
the entrepreneur behind that huge beauty brand, Lemon LLC.
Right. And our mission here is to really pull out the key insights from her whole ordeal. We're talking baseless accusations, some nasty corporate sabotage, navigating that treacherous world of public opinion.
And in a twist none of us saw coming, finding this unexpected personal connection right in the middle of all the chaos.
Exactly. So you're going to hear how one woman fought like hell for her company, but also how she reclaimed her own story, found some profound truths about resilience, trust.
And where real strength actually comes from when everything seems to be falling apart.
So what's in it for you listening in? Well, get ready. This is basically a masterclass in crisis management, sure, but also human connection, the surprising power of authenticity, and how to deal with betrayal.
Let's jump right in. Where does this storm begin?
Okay, so picture this. Wren Sinclair, she's at the top of her game, America's skin queen, right? A title, ironically, that Spotlight magazine actually gave her.
Uh-huh. The same magazine that's about to turn on her?
Precisely. Her PR manager, Talia, someone she's known forever, who usually jokes about how easy her job is because Wren's so scandal-free, she reads this headline. Did Lemon LLC steal its sparkle?
Oof. And this wasn't just some blog post. This was Spotlight. Lead story.
Lead story. Wren had already seen some morning tabloid trash piece, Wren Sinclair or Wren Sinclair, awful pun.
Terrible, but dismissible maybe.
Maybe. But the Spotlight piece, that landed differently. That felt like a coordinated hit, a serious attack.
And the source of this attack, someone Wren hadn't even heard of until, 2 weeks before?
Emil Ross, yeah. A self-proclaimed indie beauty guru.
And her accusation wasn't small. She claimed Wren stole her entire concept. Fruit-based skincare, the Lemon Glow Serum specifically.
Even the tagline, when life gives you lemons, glow. I mean, that's pretty central to Lemon LLC's branding.
It really is. It wasn't just saying your product is similar to mine. It was an attack on Wren's core identity, her originality.
It raises that huge question, doesn't it? In such a crowded market, how do you protect your ideas? Especially when things like fruit-based skincare can seem, kind of universal.
Exactly. And Wren's situation shows it's not just about having the idea first. It's about execution, branding, documenting your innovation process.
Right. Having that paper trail, that established identity, that becomes your shield, almost.
It has to be. Because look how quickly this thing exploded.
Oh, incredibly fast. Wren's first instinct was, stories like this, laughed off, but that didn't last long.
No. Her phone basically turned into a weapon against her.
A landfill of hate, she called it. Constant notifications, vicious comments, capitalist loser, people saying they were so disappointed.
And the hashtags. Cancel Lemon LLC. Hashtag Wren Sinclair Silver Party.
Brutal. So brutal. Talia, her PR manager, literally had to take the phone away from her just to stop the spiral.
And this wasn't even Wren's first rodeo with bad press, right? There's history here.
There is. You have to remember her acting days on that show, Crest.
Right, Rhea Crest.
Yeah.
Big show.
Huge. But the media went wild when she left. First, it was affordability rumors, which seemed odd for a main character. Then fabricated feuds.
It just kept escalating until she basically had to reveal her pregnancy to make it stop. Step back from acting.
And the irony, she revealed that deeply personal news in a Spotlight editorial.
Wow. The very magazine now dragging her through the mud.
It just shows how fickle public perception is, especially for successful women. Yesterday's darling, today's target.
It's a tough dynamic.
Yeah.
But then things took a much darker turn, didn't they? It moved beyond just online hate.
Yeah, this is where it gets really chilling. The online nastiness became tangible, physical.
The rotten lemons.
The rotten lemons. She gets this PR box, looks like a return, opens it, and the smell just hits her. Sharp, sour. Inside, moldy, decaying lemons. And a typed note. Your Lemon Glow Serum gave me acne. Retire.
That's not just a nasty comment. That's a direct physical threat delivered to her office.
Exactly. It's designed to intimidate, to make her feel unsafe. Her secretary, Lily, who brought it in, apparently went white as a sheet, stepped back like it was toxic.
I can imagine. That kind of thing really changes the game. It's not just about reputation anymore.
Not at all. And right alongside this physical threat, Camille Ross ramps up her media campaign.
Talia finds out she's booked on the morning show.
Yeah, promising exclusive screenshots and blog posts from 6 years ago, supposedly proving she pitched the idea to some lab that Wren somehow got wind of.
That sounds very orchestrated, not like a spontaneous complaint.
Doesn't it? It suggests a strategy. Someone media-savvy pulling the strings, or someone influential backing her.
Which is exactly what Talia suspected, right? Her intuition kicked in.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Wren trusts Talia's gut completely, says it's never wrong. And Talia called it straight away. Coordinated attack.
Driven by envy.
Pure envy, Talia believed. Because Lemon LLC had just hit #1. Beating established brands. Doing what many thought an actress couldn't.
Success breeding resentment. It's a classic story, unfortunately. Wren had already faced snide comments, people saying she should stay in her lane.
Exactly. Talia was convinced Camille was just a pawn, backed by someone with clout, someone getting her those big interviews, primetime slots.
Painting her as the underdog David against the corporate Goliath. The public eats that up.
They do. And this escalating crisis creates this massive internal pressure at Lemon LLC.
Even Raj Kapoor, the chief innovation officer, gets rattled.
Yeah, Raj. Usually Mr. Calm and collected, perfectly styled hair, unflappable demeanor. But now, hair messed up, eyes wide, shirt buttoned wrong. He's panicking.
He wants to postpone a major product launch.
Desperately. Afraid investors will bolt, seeing the company is too unstable.
That's a huge dilemma. Retreat and regroup, or push forward.
Wren insists they push forward, maintain a strong front, show they're unaffected by the drama.
That's a gutsy call. But sometimes, projecting confidence is the strategy. It signals resilience.
True. But then comes the absolute breaking point, the moment it stops being about business entirely.
The threats against her son.
Yes, Eric. He's 6 years old. Emails start coming in, explicitly mentioning your kid.
Oh, no.
Wren said her blood ran cold, that immediate visceral fear. It wasn't about Lemon LLC anymore. It was about protecting her child.
That changes everything. It moves from PR crisis to primal fear, existential threat.
Absolutely. And that's when her best friend, Jen, steps in, adamant.
Insisting Wren needs her dad, Sean Langston.
The retired security expert. But here's the thing, Wren hesitates. She actually says Sean is a lot of things, but safe isn't one.
That's intriguing. What does that mean?
It hints at something deeper, right? Some unresolved history between them. Why would she feel he isn't safe, even as she desperately needs protection?
It adds this whole other layer of personal complexity to an already critical situation. We definitely need to unpack that.
We do. So, looking at this first phase, you see these red flags popping up, right? The shift from online comments to a physical threat, like the lemons.
And then the targeting of her child. That's the big one. That signals a move from general backlash to malicious, dangerous intent.
So from a crisis management viewpoint, how do you even begin to protect someone when it gets that personal? It's beyond just social media strategy then.
Completely. You're moving into physical security, cybersecurity, threat assessment. It requires a whole different toolkit, a different level of expertise. It's about survival, not just reputation.
Okay, so Jen, Wren's best friend, she pulls off this minor miracle. She actually gets her dad, Sean Langston, to agree to consider helping Wren.
Which is a big deal.
Yeah.
Because Sean Langston isn't your average security guy. He's got rules, strict ones.
Right. His firm, Langston Protection Services, they do high-level corporate stuff, not, as he apparently calls it, celebrity babysitting.
And he has this hard rule. No personal connections with clients, avoids them completely.
So Jen asking him to help Wren, his daughter's best friend, that's already breaking his code. And him even agreeing to a meeting, huge.
It really underscores the pressure Jen must have put on him. But there's more to his reluctance, isn't there? This history you mentioned.
Yes, this is where it gets really interesting. His hesitation isn't just professional principle, it's deeply personal.
That memory of that night.
Exactly. Years ago, Wren, young, maybe early 20s, he describes her smelling like strawberries and freedom, almost kissed him in his kitchen.
And he was a widower then.
A lonely widower, yeah.
Yeah.
Grieving. And she was Jen's best friend, 13 years younger. The whole situation was loaded.
So loaded that he actively avoided her wedding, made sure he was out of the country.
He did. That's how much that almost moment affected him, how much he needed distance. So this history is hanging heavy in the air as he considers taking her case.
It completely complicates his professional objectivity. This isn't just another assignment for him. There's a real personal stake involved.
Definitely. But despite the rules, despite the history, what finally pushes him over the edge?
Eric, Wren's son.
The kid factor. Jen tells him about the threats mentioning Eric.
And that cuts through everything. The rules, the reluctance, the past, the potential danger to a child. It bypasses all his professional defenses.
He tries to delegate first, right? Offers to send one of his agents, Marcus.
Yeah, but Jen shuts that down. No, she needs you.
Yeah.
That direct plea combined with the threat to Eric. He can't refuse. He agrees to a consultation.
So he shows up at Lemon LLC, and his assessment of their security is pretty blunt.
Inadequate, outdated, full of blind spots. He sees it immediately.
He doesn't pull any punches, tells Wren her office isn't an office anymore, it's a war zone.
He points out specific flaws. The entry system is old, easily bypassed. No proper screening for deliveries.
Which explains how the rotten lemons got through?
Exactly. It highlights a common issue, actually. Businesses grow fast, but sometimes security doesn't keep pace, especially for a high-profile target like Wren.
His warning, "It is now," really lands the urgency, doesn't it?
It does. And he immediately mobilizes his team. Cal, the cyber guy, Denny, head of investigations, Marcus for fieldwork.
And they start digging into Camille Ross's sudden rise to fame. What do they find?
Anomalies. Big ones. Her social media engagement, spikes that look totally unnatural, not organic growth.
Like bots or coordinated campaigns.
Very likely. Sophisticated analytics can spot those patterns. Plus, high-profile accounts, some previously dormant, suddenly start amplifying her message, all at the same time.
Too coordinated.
Exactly. And then there's the money. Camille, who was apparently struggling before, suddenly has a new luxury apartment, designer wardrobe.
Someone's bankrolling her. As Donnie puts it, someone's financing her newfound lifestyle.
The timing is key, too. Her posts, the media hits, they're synchronized. Cal, the tech expert, notes it's all too clean, too fast, too well-targeted for a solo influencer.
So they know someone's behind her. How do they figure out who?
The breakthrough comes from security footage. Donnie digs it up. Camille Ross having dinner at a discreet restaurant.
With?
Marlowe Sky.
Marlowe Sky, Wren's old co-star from Crest.
And, more importantly, the founder of Nova Grey.
A rival skincare brand.
Nova Grey. The one that never really took off, despite a lot of hype.
That's the one. Suddenly, all the pieces just click into place.
Marlowe. Known for being chaotic, dramatic, but she's been posting these vague things online about integrity.
Right around the time the attacks on Wren started escalating, it wasn't random noise, it was targeted.
And Wren then reveals the backstory, that Marlowe had actually approached her for a collaboration.
Yes. Which Wren shot down flat. Said Marlowe's products were heavy on marketing, light on quality.
Ouch. So this whole campaign against Wren, it's Marlowe's version of payback.
It looks exactly like that. Calculated corporate sabotage fueled by professional jealousy and a personal vendetta. Sean was right, it was a hit job.
Wow. Just as they're piecing this together, things take another unexpected turn.
Another package arrives.
Yes, but this time delivered to Wren's home. Late at night, the threat feels even closer, more intimate.
That must have terrified her. It leads to a complete breakdown. She's in Sean's car, just falls apart. And he comforts her.
And that's when the paparazzi get the shot.
That's the moment. Grainy photo, Sean comforting her, lips on her forehead. Very intimate looking.
Which explodes into headlines like, Secret Lovers.
CEO Wren Sinclair caught canoodling with mystery man. You know the drill.
But ironically, this invasion of privacy, it actually becomes an opportunity.
Unbelievably, yes. This is where Talia's PR brilliance really kicks in.
She sees a way to use this.
She sees the narrative shifting. The public is maybe getting a bit tired of the Camille story. But Wren's private life, that's always been a source of fascination because she guarded it so closely.
So the focus shifts from, is she a thief, to who is this mystery man?
Exactly. Headlines change overnight. From thief or trendsetter to who's the silver fox in Wren Sinclair's life. It's a complete pivot.
And Talia's proposal is audacious.
To lean into it, create a curated romance narrative.
A fake relationship.
Essentially, yes. A temporary strategic move. 6 weeks, max, Talia says. Just long enough to get through the product launch, gather the final evidence against Marlowe, and let the scandal die down.
That's playing with fire, though. Ethically, strategically.
Oh, hugely. It raises massive questions about manipulating public perception. What lines do you cross for survival? Is it justified?
It's classic crisis PR misdirection. Introduce a more compelling story to distract from the negative one, but the risk of it backfiring if exposed, it's enormous.
High stakes. And Sean, Mr. No personal connections, he agrees to this.
He does. Frames it purely as part of his job, protecting Wren and Eric. Tells Talia, if it helps take the negative attention off you and the company, I'm in. Very professional.
But for Wren, it's not that simple, is it?
Not at all. The idea that it's nothing personal for him. She admits that shouldn't hurt, but it does.
Ah. So the lines are already blurring, even as they agree to this charade.
Undeniably. That agreement, that first public outing where his hand finds her back almost instinctively, it's the start of something neither of them planned. The professional boundaries are dissolving.
It's fascinating how this whole thing unfolds. You've got PR strategy, corporate espionage, personal history, real danger, all colliding.
And the crisis itself, manufactured by Marlowe, ends up forcing Wren and Sean to confront things they'd probably rather avoid about their past, their feelings, their vulnerabilities.
And that random paparazzi photo, a seeming disaster, becomes the key to turning the whole thing around. It just shows how unpredictable these situations can be.
Absolutely. It demonstrates the power of narrative, not just in the public sphere, but internally, too. The crisis becomes this crucible, forging unexpected connections.
So the plan goes into action. The fake romance hits People magazine, glossy photos, hand-holding, the works.
They look convincing, like a real power couple.
And Jen, Wren's best friend, plays her part beautifully. Feigns surprise to reporters. My father and Wren, dating. Wow, makes it seem even more real.
And the public buys it.
Hook, line, and sinker. Headlines totally shift. Forget Camille Ross. It's all Who's the Silver Fox? Social media goes crazy. Rain and Heart's fan club pops up. They're the new IT couple.
It's incredible how effectively they redirected the narrative. Just completely changed the conversation.
Proof of the power of controlling the story, but while it's working publicly, what's happening privately? Especially for Sean.
Ah, yes, Sean. The man of rules. It's getting complicated for him. He's finding it harder and harder to keep that professional distance.
His internal monologue basically admits it, right? The more time I spend with Wren, the harder it becomes to treat this as just another job.
Exactly. The lines aren't just blurring. They're practically gone for him. And Jen sees it too.
Jen calls him out.
She does, over lunch. Tells him straight up, I see how you look at her in those photos. This isn't that look. Warns him it's going to get messy, especially for Wren, who she says runs when things get real.
A blunt reality check from his daughter?
But the real emotional turning point for Sean, the thing that shatters his remaining defenses. It's Eric again, isn't it?
Little Eric. His drawing first. My family. Wren. Sean, himself, with a big red heart over them.
That must have hit hard.
And then Eric tells him, so innocently, that Sean makes his mom smile like she used to. Before the internet, people were mean.
Oh, wow.
And finishes with, I hope you stay with us forever. I like you. Just pure, unfiltered childhood honesty.
How does Sean even process that?
It leads to this profound realization for him. He thinks, I'm not falling for Wren. I've already fallen. All the way. It's not a choice anymore. It's just a fact.
A complete surrender to his feelings, triggered by a child's simple words. That's powerful.
While all this personal drama is unfolding, the professional investigation reaches its climax, and it's devastating.
They find the mole, and it's the last person Wren would have suspected.
Lily, her loyal assistant, the one who'd been there since the beginning, helped with Eric, listened to Wren's worries.
How'd they confirm it was her?
Hard evidence. Sean's team is meticulous. Access logs showing Lily accessing sensitive files at odd times. Chat logs, she was Lemon Insider, talking directly to Marlowe, who used the alias Star Power.
Oh my God. Direct communication.
And photos. Security footage of Lily meeting Camille at a cafe. It was undeniable. A prolonged, calculated betrayal.
How does Wren handle that confrontation?
It's explosive, gut-wrenching. Lily walks in with coffee, completely unsuspecting. Wren confronts her with the evidence.
What does Lily even say?
Wren's fury is just raw. You look me in the eye every day while you were selling pieces of my life. Lily eventually breaks down, admits she just wanted to prove that I could be more. Envy, insecurity, such complex, messy reasons for such a devastating betrayal. Wren is heartbroken but firm, tells her she's done, leave her badge, leave her laptop. The personal wound is clearly immense, even deeper than the professional damage.
But Talia, the PR strategist, sees an opportunity even in this disaster.
Instantly. Sees how to flip this, her plan, release the evidence.
The chat logs, the photos of Marlowe and Camille.
All of it. But release it strategically, without comment. Let the public connect the dots themselves. Expose the whole thing as a manufactured setup.
That's brilliant. Using their own tactics against them, letting the truth speak for itself.
It's a power move. Meanwhile, Marlowe is still trying to cause trouble, right? giving another interview just before Wren's launch.
Still trying to keep the negative narratives alive. Vague accusations about stolen concepts, PR stunts.
But Wren refuses to let it break her. She pushes ahead with the launch, doubles down on transparency, innovation, authenticity.
Because hiding would just empower Marlowe more.
Exactly. And the launch is tied to this new SkinSense app, her latest innovation. The investor meeting goes well.
A significant improvement. Investors who were on the fence are now impressed, calling it a win. Her resilience pays off professionally.
And personally, too, it seems. There are these moments of honesty between her and Sean around this time.
The lemonade stand scene. Eric's little stand. It's such a symbol of simplicity amidst the chaos.
Then later on the patio, Wren thanks Sean, but clarifies she didn't lose control. She just trusted the wrong person, taking accountability.
And Sean? He takes the leap.
That
Tells her, this stopped being pretend a long time ago.
And Wren, does she run like Jen predicted?
No. She initiates the kiss this time. A conscious choice. A signal that she's ready for something real. No more pretending. No more running.
That feels like a huge moment of growth for her,
Wow.
accepting vulnerability, connection.
It is. And it all culminates at the launch event itself. Her speech.
She doesn't shy away from what happened.
Not at all. She weaves her personal journey into the professional triumph. Shares the story of Lemon LLC's beginning Eric saying, "Mama smells happy."
Oh.
Acknowledges the accusations, betrayal, public spectacle, but frames it as healing, as reclaiming our story.
And the new collection is called Narrative.
Based on the white lotus, the flower that rises through murky water to bloom in perfection. Just like all of us, it's incredibly symbolic.
A powerful message of resilience. Does she mention Sean?
Not by name, but she gives this beautiful, heartfelt acknowledgement, describes someone who reminded me that strength doesn't always look loud or fearless.
Sometimes it's quiet, steady.
Sometimes it shows up wearing faded blue jeans and a Dodgers cap and refuses to let you go through it alone.
Wow. Anyone who knows exactly who she's talking about. It's a public declaration, disguised.
It's incredibly moving, a blend of personal truth and public grace.
So after the launch, the success, the speech, what happens between them?
They finally have the conversation. Wren confesses it was never pretend for her either.
And Sean lays it all out there.
Completely. I'm in love with you, Wren. I love you, and I don't want to keep it to myself anymore. I want something real with you. Just raw honesty.
And Wren's reaction is unexpected.
Sudden wave of nausea. They end up at the hospital.
And the doctor delivers the final twist.
You're pregnant. About 6 weeks.
Oh my goodness. 6 weeks. Right around the time things got complicated.
Sean's reaction is key here. He asks, "Our baby?" His voice filled with wonder, not panic.
He reassures her immediately.
Instantly. This doesn't scare me. It makes me more sure. It grounds me. I want this. I want us. Total commitment.
And that's what Wren needs to hear. She finally says it back.
Tells him she loves him too. Fully embraces this completely unplanned, totally unexpected future.
The epilogue paints such a lovely picture. 6 months later.
Wren, visibly pregnant, walking with Eric and Sean in a lemon orchard. A perfect symbol.
And Sean's talking about nagging Eric about his room someday, just casually accepting this domestic future.
A total transformation from the man bound by rules and avoiding personal ties. Wren says she's learning to lean on his steadiness, embracing it all.
It's an incredible arc. Looking back at this whole deep dive, the big lesson seems to be about what strength really means.
Right. It's not just about being tough or in control. It's found in vulnerability, in accepting help, in facing betrayal, and allowing these unexpected connections to change you.
Even when those connections completely upend your carefully planned life, it really makes you question what a crisis actually is. Is it just disruption or is it an opening?
Exactly. How often do our biggest challenges push us towards not just overcoming obstacles, but towards deeper growth, unexpected joy, and maybe finding where we truly belong?
It's a powerful thought. In Wren's story, a crisis born from malice and lies ultimately paved the way for authentic love and a future she never imagined. It really makes you wonder, when chaos hits your life, is it purely a setback? Or could it possibly be the surprising, maybe even necessary path toward becoming the most authentic version of yourself and finding the deep connections you never even knew you were searching for? And that's it. We've reached the end of today's podcast on this book. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next whisper between the pages. Let us know in the comments what you thought of this episode and share your opinion if you've read the book. And of course, feel free to suggest a book you'd like us to cover next. See you soon.